All right, I've got 5 common misconceptions about the insurance industry that I'm going to debunk. If you are thinking about learning how to sell insurance, joining an insurance agency, or wondering if the Kool-Aid you've been drinking spiked, then this video is perfect for you. My name's David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group. I train and recruit agents to sell insurance, like final expense, Medicare, and annuities, either face-to-face or over the phone. And would love for you to check out how my agency works. Click the links above or below if you'd like to learn more, and thanks for watching. So I'm putting this video together because a lot of my audience out there, and a lot of you who are out there are looking into selling insurance, or currently are, or just on the cusp of beginning. And it's important that you understand the true nature of the insurance sales business. There's a lot of misconceptions, and I think it's a good thing to understand the truth where it may be not as apparent getting started, where you don't know what you don't know. So I'm going to cover 5 different aspects here about common industry misconceptions. And this is all coming from the perspective of an independent agency owner, as well as someone who's been an actual producer for a number of years selling insurance, who's been on both sides of the equation. So number 1, a common misconception, although understandable that you have it, is that the insurance sales business is a giant MLM Kool-Aid drinking pyramid scheme. Yes, I know, surprising. It's not always that way, even though it's very common as far as how agencies are run. Here's what I mean. If you haven't paid any attention, if you haven't noticed quite yet, there are a lot of agencies that push the aspect of recruiting, talking to friends and family, as opposed to producing or selling insurance or developing the skill set to sell insurance. There is a culture that permeates many of these large insurance agencies that very much resemble a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme. Now, I will say I've never seen an illegal insurance MLM pyramid scheme. Pyramid scheme is a way people describe an MLM, but a pyramid scheme is illegal. An MLM is not by default. Pyramid scheme is kind of related, but sort of different. I've never seen that, so I can say the competition out there isn't illegal as far as I can tell. But many of them support this culture of MLM. Again, whereas what I think you should be looking for, even though that's common, is that there are agencies like mine and others as well that believe in personal production, that believe in personal growth and skill development to help people out in the field as their primary calling, and to teach you how to do that. And that is really important, because if you want longevity in this business, you got to have a skill set to do it, right? You can't just go around getting drunk on the Kool-Aid, jumping around, hooting and hollering, acting like a fool. That's not going to help you sell insurance. It'll get you high for a little while until it wears off and you realize you don't know nothing. So you want to develop your skill set, right? That's kind of what I try to do in my agency, because that's what's going to help the people be covered, improve their lot in life, and then help you in return. So in other words, yes, it is obviously a understandable misconception that people think that this is an MLM scheme, but a little more due diligence is going to lead you to better opportunities, which is why I always say to new agents, do your due diligence before you jump into bed with the first agency, because it's likely, odds are, seeing what I see out there, it's an MLM operation. Number 2, is that average incomes are 6-figure plus. I laugh because I saw some competition that claimed in one of their spam emails that their average agents are making 6 figures a year. Average. We all understand math here, although that is questionable too, right? A lot of people don't get math. Average means, if I take the summation of all the producing agents, right, and all of their production and divide it by the number of agents, that their net income, the money left over after they buy leads, supposedly is going to be 6 figures. That is a lie. That's not true. It can't be true. There's no organization that has an average 6-figure income earning capability. Why? Because the Pareto principle reigns supreme. Here's the truth and the biggest misconception of this business. The biggest lie of this business is that average people make 6 figures. The truth is that success is extraordinary. It's unusual. And it's the top 20% of producers that make 80% of what income is earned. Now, I would believe as, hey, our top 20% make six figures. That's potentially true. But to suggest that an average in this business is that high is just a downright lie. Because the truth is most people fail the insurance business. Why? Because they have inadequate training. They have inadequate capital to fund their lead purchases. They don't have enough money to make it work. Or what they thought was a good agency turned out to be a bad agency because they were sold a bill of goods. So don't come into this business thinking it's a get-rich-quick scheme. These MLM agencies want you thinking that money is easy. I'm telling you guys, I've been in business for 15 years in some capacity. Money ain't easy. It takes hard work. It takes time, sacrifice. It's a price to pay. You'll eventually get there with enough consistency and effort and a little luck. But the last thing money is easy, and it's not average making a substantial income. It's nice to think that, but the reality is it ain't true. Misconception number 3 is commission rates aren't that important. You'll get these captive organizations that, recruit one or two companies, and they'll proceed to tell you why, hey, your smaller commission level with us is actually better than a higher commission with somebody else. Because 120% of is nothing, right? But 50% of something's something. Like, oh, there it is, right there. Mind blown. That's a lie. It's a misconception. Now, there is some truth to that. It's not just about commission levels. It's about training you get. It's about the leads you get. It's about the support. It's the whole package deal. But a lot of these organizations that are pushing an MLM strategy, they try to tell you that commission rates aren't that important. Well, I can tell you in the beginning, while there is some truth to that, over time as you develop your skill set, commissions do matter more and more. Because now that you're self-sufficient, you're successful, you need to be paid what you're worth. And why would you hand over tens of thousands of dollars in commission dollars to an upline, or usually a series of uplines above you that don't do anything to earn it because you know what you're doing. You don't need their help anymore. They're not providing you value. So again, this is a misconception that a lot of organizations tell you that just isn't simply true. You need to maximize your compensation. In the beginning, you might get paid a little less. That makes sense because you got to pay your way to understand and learn the business. But over time, you need to be maximizing your comp because that's food on your table that they're taking away from and trying to justify it to you. Number 4 is that brand name is everything. This is a funny thing that the people think they've got to sell the big brand name that was endorsing, something somewhere and everybody knows it, and it's the companies that sell insurance. Well, guess what, guys? That is not true. You know how much insurance I've sold and have taught agents to sold that were completely no-name brands that as soon as we sold them, the client forgot the name and never thought about it again? That's common, at least in the final expense business and probably throughout much of the insurance businesses, to sell these companies you've never heard of. Now, how can you sell things that you've never heard of and do it successfully, consistently for years on end? It's because you as the agent understand the truth is, the misconception is brand name is everything, and that's not the case. The truth is that your connection, your brand, your connection with the prospect, that is everything. Give me a brand name insurance company, you're thinking of one right now, and imagine the biggest asshole is selling it to you. Do you really want to buy from that company with that guy selling it that you don't think much of? Of course not. Now, how good is brand working in that scenario when the agent's a jerk, right? So that's what I mean. People want to buy from people they trust. And it's that connection, that human connection with somebody that they trust, that makes all the difference. So when you sell insurance, this isn't about the big brand name. It isn't about the big franchise agency you're a part of that is recruiting everybody. That doesn't mean anything, at least to your clients. What matters to your clients is, can you listen? Can you give them something that will solve their problems and feel good about it? And you don't need brand name companies or agencies to do it. Last on the list here, and this is going to be disturbing to some of you, there is a misconception in this business that anybody can sell insurance successfully. I do not believe that is true. I've tried to make it true. I've recruited thousands of agents at this point, and still the truth of the world, which has always been the case, reigns supreme, and that is success is extraordinary. It is outlier to the norm or the average. It takes a special person to be successful in life. That's just what it is, because what it takes as far as sacrifice and commitment and the pain necessary to overcome the inertia from starting is extraordinary. It's unusual to find people that can do it. And I wish I could say something different, but the MLMs, with their strategy of throwing it up against the wall and mass recruiting, they want you to think differently. But the truth is, not everybody's meant to be successful in this business. Now, I think with the right character traits, if you've got self-discipline, you've got initiative, you're coachable, you're humble, you've got a work drive, yeah, your odds are higher, but there's no promise that you can be successful. So if I figured this out and I could make anybody successful that was lazy and would rather lay around and not work, I would be a billionaire retired by now, but it just doesn't turn out that way. So long story short, hopefully I've debunked some of these common misconceptions about the insurance business. Number one, it's not always an MLM Kool-Aid drinking scheme. As common as that is, there are really good agencies out there that will train you to sell insurance successfully. Number two, average incomes are well below six-figure incomes, but the top producers can make far beyond six figures if they build carefully, sell for years, and really apply themselves. Number three, commission rates are important, especially as you develop as an agent, because you're otherwise leaving money to people unnecessarily that aren't doing anything to earn it. Number four, it's not about brand name of the company, or it's not about brand name of the agency. It's about your connection, your brand to the client, and that's what sells insurance. And number five, not everybody can be successful in this business. Anybody telling you that's got an angle. They want to recruit you no matter what. Sure, I recruit for a living, but I want to recruit the right people that have a higher propensity of success. And that's the biggest misconceptions with the insurance business. I hope you learned a few things and got a better perspective of what to expect. If you'd like to leave some comments or suggestions below, feel free to. If you want to check out my website, the link's above or below, about joining my agency to sell insurance. In the meantime, thanks so much as always for watching. We'll see you next time. Y'all take care. Bye.